Hello everyone, I'm MH370. Far out in the Indian Ocean, in one of the world's most remote places, there's a glimmer of hope in the agonizing search for Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. Australian satellites have detected large pieces of debris floating about 2,500 kilometers southwest of Perth 4 days ago. It is not clear what the objects are, but an Australian maritime spokesman calls it probably the best lead we have right now. Well, 4 planes searched for that debris Thursday. They found nothing, and right now it is the middle of the night. The search is limited by the time and fuel it takes to get to the spot, and because the debris might have floated far from where the radar detected it. Australian Maritime Safety Authorities will resume their search at first light, which is a little less than 4 hours from now. Saima Mohsin is in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, where the flight originated. She joins us now with the very latest. Saima, as we said, the search will resume at first light, but what have Malaysian authorities had to say about how the search in the South Indian Ocean is progressing?
Well, most importantly, Aisha, they are diverting most of their resources from all the international efforts for the search and rescue of flight MH370 towards the southern tip of that corridor that they had already identified, out into the Indian Ocean, into this isolated area that the satellite imagery picked up these 2 objects in. Now, they are large objects. We're not sure what they are exactly. One is 24 meters long, the other 5 meters long. Significant enough for the Australian Prime Minister to tell Parliament that they had discovered this, for them to share this with the Malaysian government, and for all resources to be diverted, most of them, the majority of them, to them. Let me tell you what that is. 18 out of 18 ships from the entire search and rescue operation heading that way. 25 out of, let me just check that, 29 aircraft, 25 out of 29 also deployed there. At first light, they'll be heading, trying to search that area, and then 6 helicopters as well, Aisha. Now, first, of course, they have the task of trying to locate this debris, and then they have to try and collect it and identify it. Crucially, we still do not know if this is in fact any kind of debris linked to flight MH370. They say they believe it is. Malaysian authorities have tried to approach this with caution because, of course, every single day we have thought we've had a lead on this, tried to locate where the flight is, where the passengers might be, what might have happened. The next day we've heard, no, sorry, that wasn't the case. And so we've had so many false starts, so many false hopes for the families and loved ones of those on board the flight, that Malaysian authorities have said, yes, this is credible information from the Australians, but let's proceed with caution. This may or may not be linked to the plane.
Yeah.
Aisha?
Yeah, indeed, and it is worth reporting that we must approach this with caution. Nothing has been confirmed. But I still have to ask you about the fact that these items were detected in images 4 days ago. 4 days ago. How come this information is only emerging now?
It's a big question we've all been trying to ask. We haven't, to be honest, got a straight answer from that. We've had certain kind of roundabout answers about getting the satellite imagery, analysing it, of course, and getting to that point where experts feel comfortable enough to say, yes, this is something that we should really take seriously. And that is where that word credible information comes in, of course, because to you and I, the average person, if we take a look at that satellite imagery, they're simply just blobs in the image. But to an expert who's taken time to analyse it, perhaps that's why it's taken so long. And of course, as I said, they do want to proceed with caution. One more thing I want to share with you, Aisha, that today the Prime Minister of Malaysia has met with Jean-Paul Trodek. He is the man who led the investigation in the Air France crash, and he's now helping Malaysian authorities to really hone in on this investigation, on this search and rescue operation. Aisha?
Well, the Malaysian authorities need all the help they can get. Saima Mohsin joining us there from Kuala Lumpur. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Well, it isn't just the distance to the debris field that's a problem for search crews. Ocean conditions, weather and currents all present major challenges. Our own Jenny Harrison joins us from the World Weather Center with that part of the story. Jenny, give us some perspective on the conditions these search crews are dealing with.
Yeah, well, one of the things actually, I just wanted to say as well to start off was that one of the things they are doing is the satellites are actually being steered to re-photograph this entire area because, of course, they need more images. They do need good, clear weather conditions for that. So there it is, of course, there it is, that 2,500 kilometres to the southwest of Australia. This, in the last few hours, has been quite an active front that's gone through the region. It stayed pretty much to the north of this search area, has been heading towards Western Australia. But again, most of the weather that came through Perth in the form of winds. Conditions are improving there, certainly. And in fact, right now, we've got some very good conditions. Let's hope they continue. They should, because for the next few days, conditions in the southwest of Australia are fine, dry and clear. So all good when it comes to actually sending aircraft out from there. So going back to the search area, as you say, there's a few things to be taken into consideration here. What we have, first of all, inside this box, this is an actually exclusive to CNN. It's a very high-resolution model we're able to use to show and predict the weather over the next 48 hours. So you're looking at the satellite with any rain or thunderstorms coming through, and you can just see there, beginning to push into this bigger area, that we have got a little bit of weather expected at the end of the next 24 to 48 hour time period. The winds will also pick up with this system as it comes through, and in fact ahead of that storm system as well. So all of this will make conditions out there on the waters a lot more difficult. The waves right now are about sort of 3 meters in height, but if you get those higher winds, then obviously those are likely to actually increase. In terms of the depth, well, this is the big thing. They're looking as much as 3 kilometers below the ocean surface if they do find any debris, first of all, because that is how deep it is. And then the currents play a part as well. So you have this massive area. You can just see the overall circulation with all these different currents. The search area now, this new one, is very close to this particular current here. This is known as the ACC. It's the Antarctic Circumpolar Current, and it's a strong current. But at the moment, this search area is just sort of to the north of there. We've certainly got some very strong currents in the area, Aisha. Initially, it was here where the currents are a lot lighter, but what we have here certainly are currents that could potentially carry any debris, obviously quite a distance, particularly if it gets pulled into this stronger current in the south of this particular area.
Jenny, appreciate it. Great insight. Really appreciate it. Thanks for joining us today.